Hello, my name is Andrew, and today I'll be analyzing the film 12 Angry Men by Sidney Lumet from a psychoanalytical and archetypal lens. 12 Angry Men follows a 12-man jury that has just watched a man be put on trial for murder. The film follows their deliberation, where they must decide whether they will put this young man to death. The case seems open and shut, with only one man voting not guilty, until the details of the case are put into question. Ultimately, through scrutinizing the evidence, the man is able to convince the jury to vote not guilty. The film shows how different perspectives and backgrounds play into someone's views, whilst examining the psychological factors that play into changing one's opinion. 12 Angry Men is a classic movie that, while made long ago, still holds many truths about how society functions today. Now to examine the film through a psychoanalytical lens. A psychoanalytical lens is an examination of the psychology of the text in order to uncover information regarding the personality and behavior of the author or characters. The overarching themes of the film are evident by examining the behavior of the 12 jurors. Particularly, a psychoanalytical lens gleans clear ideas surrounding group mentality and the psychology of opinion. From the start, the group faces a high degree of pressure through bandwagoning. In a very early scene, the audience can see the hesitance of the jurors as they each vote guilty during a long pan around the juror table. Some jurors say nothing, others hesitate, while others make comments like, "Of course he's guilty." This immediately exemplifies the personality of the characters, ranging from timid to headstrong, whilst highlighting the fear of voting against the group. Additionally, the backgrounds of the characters play a crucial role in dictating their views of the case. This is shown both through dialogue and the mise-en-scène of the film. For instance, juror number 12 is an advertiser that is more worried about his job than the case. As such, he changes his vote multiple times throughout the film and is often looking disinterested and bored. Similarly, juror 7 is worried about getting to a baseball game later in the day. The man is constantly standing up and approaching people with urgency as a result. Additionally, when he eventually changes his vote, he cannot give a good reason why. These jurors have a highly developed id, meaning they value personal pleasure and urges over justice and what is right. Another man, juror number 4, is known to be a hard-nosed bank worker and approaches the case from a very analytical and emotionless perspective. However, the most important characters to examine from this lens are jurors 3, 8, 9, and 10. Juror 3 immediately votes guilty and champions this perspective throughout the film. This is because of his strained relationship with his son, who left him years ago after getting into a fight. In the climax of the film, the man, after seeing a photo of him and his son, says, "Kids, you work your life out," before ripping it up, breaking down, and choosing to vote not guilty. Meanwhile, juror 10 is an old, highly classist man that despises the poor and makes no effort to hide it. Conversely, juror number 9 is a quiet, old man that looks for the best in others. What these three show is a psychological theory posited by Polish psychologist Solomon Asch that older people are less likely to conform. All of these three stay true to their views throughout the film and are the hardest to shake under pressure. Finally, the main juror, juror 8, has a highly developed superego. He initially votes not guilty not because he believes it, but because he thinks it isn't right to make a verdict without talking first. He constantly champions the facts and refuses to give in to the norm. When juror 10 questions why he's so polite, he responds, "For the same reason you are not. It's the way I was brought up." Through his life, he has a strong sense of justice and shows through his actions how one can fight group mentality. By analyzing the film through a psychoanalytical lens, it is clear the director is showing the viewer numerous truths about group behavior and the importance of background in dictating one's opinion. Now to examine the film from an archetypal lens. This lens utilizes universal character tropes found throughout film and literature to examine the story. In 12 Angry Men, each character falls into a specific archetype that is backed up by their actions in the film and the way they are placed in the frame, reflecting real traits in society. Juror 1 is a coordinator and organizer who takes charge to organize the voting process and discussion. To represent his role, he is often pictured standing, showcasing his power. Juror 3 represents the archetype of the bully, a headstrong character that utilizes fear and aggression to control others whilst harboring a trauma, that being his estranged relationship with his son internally. He often has sharp movements and the camera is often put below him to show his intimidation. Juror number 4 is an analyst, very by the numbers and emotionless, and this is notable throughout his mise en scène. His costume is very formal, his expression hard and uninviting, and is pictured with things like a newspaper and glasses, which are associated with that of a thinker. The two main protagonists of the story, that being Juror 8 and 9, are the clearest representation of these archetypes. Juror 8 plays the role of an advocate, detective, and reluctant hero. He is constantly standing up for what is morally right and refuses to back down to the other jurors' intimidation, seeking the truth when even he himself doesn't know it. Repeatedly in the beginning of the film, he states, "I don't know whether he's guilty or not guilty," and this reflects his character. Unlike the rest of the jurors, he is not one quick to jump to conclusions, but is instead constantly standing up for others. He has not seeked out this role, but has filled it simply because it is the right thing to do. Because of this role, he is always focused and paying attention, rarely having an outburst. He is constantly making decisions in the case's best interests, such as buying a cheap knife that was used as the murder weapon in order to disprove its one-of-a-kind nature, as well as testing how fast a witness could have reached the stairwell of his apartment. He approaches everyone he meets in the story with kindness and respect, and the camera is focused on him more often than not. Juror 9 plays the role of a companion, being a constant loyal ally to Juror 8. He shares a sense of justice and plays a constant role in trying to back up Juror 8. However, he is not a leader, and this is reflected in his portrayal. He only votes not guilty when the voting system becomes anonymous, as well as after Juror 8 has made his view clear. In the camera work, numerous times he is put in close-ups positioned just below the camera, giving him a timid and childlike quality. The film's characters are clear reflections of common archetypes found in society, and this showcases to the viewer that the 12 men present in this jury are a clear reflection of the differing roles people play in society. Ultimately, the film 12 Angry Men is a strong, powerful film that holds many lessons that still apply today. It showcases the complex and varying dynamics of psychology, particularly in a group setting, whilst highlighting the existence of archetypes within society. The film is meticulously planned out with expert cinematography and amazing use of props and body language to influence the viewer's perception of the characters. The film utilizes sounds like rainfall, table slams, doors opening, and fans running to make the room feel as real as possible. Meanwhile, the editing of the film is fantastic through its cuts and clever lingering on characters' reactions, ending with a final long fade out of the courtroom when the case has finally been solved, giving a sense of triumph and achievement. Overall, 12 Angry Men is a classic film that deserves a watch today, using powerful themes, characters, film domains, and social commentary to convey a gripping and engaging story to the audience. Thank you for listening.